To come out and make the announcement that I have decided to support Yang 2020. And I want to talk about that. Um, First thing I have to be honest, I never really listened to all of Yang. And in this case, his media buy and everything else, identified me as a good candidate for switching. Now, for those that know me, knows that I am basically pushing this whole idea of social capitalism. And UBIs have always been part of social capitalism. And I had originally got on Beto because of my rape when I was 9 years old by a teenage boy. And when Cruz supported Kavanaugh and others, I was a Republican for all my life. Inactive, non-participating, but on paper I was Republican. And it brought back this horrible event, and I couldn't help wonder that if I was in the same position as Ford, would I come forward? And the answer was yes. So I decided at that time, Cruz was up for re-election. So I decided that I was going to basically campaign and get every single senator who, in my opinion, was complicit in the attempted rape of Ford by supporting a Supreme Court justice into our holiest. It's like putting in the Pope, in my opinion. That's what our Supreme Court justice is. And that's how I got into Beto. And then the whole border thing, and I have a startup, I have a Dano called a wildcard Dano called Autonomous Wall, and it's right there in El Paso. So my thinking is that Beto should really guarantee the Senate in Texas, and he's being obtuse by with his comments the other night that I saw him on MSNBC, and it's just rhetoric. We can't do anything in the country unless we win the Senate, and by in the Senate in Texas is really important. And there is an advantage of having a Democratic candidate. Who is a Texan? I'll give you that, because he's a southern state. It'll bring over. But the thing is that in listening to Yang and learning more about him, the guy is just super smart, and he understands the crisis and stuff headed our way. So I'm doing social capitalism. What Yang is talking about is social capitalism. He's talking about basically imposing and changing laws for these corporations to do. Now, what I'm doing is saying, let's just create a new kind of entity called a Dano that is funded by the Bitcoin Global Reserve Fund that will activate in 2030 or whenever it reaches. And AI will manage this fund, and it will release a dividend. And this dividend will be awarded to individuals that ultimately evaluates their CAGR and lowers their, lower their footprint. Basically, we're going to pay you money to lower your footprint, and it's going to come out in this dividend called UPS. And the UPS dividend can be used for all social capitalist projects. And social capitalism is like social media. It's not like socialism, right? That's a very key distinction, because most people hear social capitalism, they're so ingrained with socialism. Social is not socialism, right? Social means everyone, right? Social capitalism. It's like collective capitalism. So I am excited to, basically flip to Yang. He's a better fit for me. And I'm hoping to connect with his team. I'm hoping to basically, present him on LinkedIn. And, I'd love to get him to come out and talk to me, and maybe we can debate and talk about social capitalism and why it's important. Thanks.